You know, in times like these, being condemned to hell doesn't seem such a bad idea. I've said this in the past, but I am a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and despite the hip thing being to tear into the small blue boy wearing discount Air Jordans for the past 19 years, I'm not one to let opinions get to me.
But the Boo Saga was very underwhelming.
And being a Sonic fan brings a test of mental endurance where the internet seems to like to beat down on people who say the following things. Sonic and the Secret Rings is a good game. Classic Sonic isn't as great as some people say he is. Sonic 06? Anyway, a game with this, shall we say, stature deserves an in-depth look, so consider this video one of my magnum opus. A video covering everything possible about the game, starting now! Released November 14th, 2006 for Xbox 360 and December 21st, 2006 for PS3, Sonic Team released a new Sonic game to coincide with the 15th anniversary for the fastest thing alive, titled Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, so I'm not the best with names. Hell, my RPGs, normally when I make them, literally their starting name is NA. But when you're making a game celebrating the 15th anniversary of an extremely popular franchise, for better or worse, why give it a title that could confuse the classic players? What if a conversation like this were to happen? So, I see that you like Sonic the Hedgehog. Why yes, I do, friend. Would you like to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, I'd love to. Let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. My god, it's one of the best games on the Genesis. Oh, friend, you misunderstand me. I was talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, the best game ever released on the Xbox 360. A man could lose their life for something like that, Sega. Learn this. Anyway, Sonic 06 would begin development in 2006 under the watchful eye of Sonic co-creator Yuji Naka. One thing to consider was Sonic's team's goal to create a game with a realistic tone. A realistic tone with a blue hedgehog that runs faster than the human eye can even comprehend. And a man whose IQ is over 300. Who creates robots that are made from animals. Okay. That was until Yuji Naka resigned from Sonic Team to create a company, Probe, synonymous for such games as Real Ski Jump and Digimon All-Star Rumble, which has been seen as nothing special. But for Sonic Team, who had lost their leader in development and suddenly had their hands tied, rushed the game for the Christmas season, and despite journalists giving the game praise and showings before the game's release, some even saying the game would return the Blue Blur to its series' roots, upon release, almost everything everyone said was taken back and the game was almost immediately deemed a critical failure. Let's go into why! Now, to help with my tendency to gloss over things, these one-game reviews will be split into 4 parts. Story, gameplay, audio, and additional features. Additional features meaning we can go through multiplayer modes if necessary, or downloadable content, which, for this game, DLC will need to be spoken about from an outsider's perspective because DLC for Sonic 06 on 360 is unavailable as of time of this recording. Thanks, Phil. So the next cutscene starts with an ad for a Final Fantasy game. No, this is Soliana, and this woman is Princess Elise, who holds a power called the Flames of Disaster. During the ceremony, Soliana is attacked by my worst nightmare-given form, Dr. Eggman, who attempts to kidnap Elise, only for the Blue Blur to appear and put an end to the plan. Not before Elise briefly mistakes Sonic for Silver. Not again! No! If there's one thing I can say about this, the last two cutscenes have looked gorgeous for a video game cutscene in 2006. So the next one must look as incredible as... Ooh, never mind. Anyway, Sonic, Tails, and meme approver Knuckles work together to rescue Elise from the clutches of Jamie Hyneman from Mythbusters, while Shadow and Rouge accidentally awaken another character, this one being Mephiles, an evil spirit that takes the pair to a post-apocalyptic world because of a demonic villain known as Iblis. He later encounters Blaze and Silver before manipulating the pair into killing Sonic. Which, of course, works. What did you think would happen? Silver the Hedgehog, I need you and your partner Blaze to eliminate the blue hedgehog responsible for destroying your world. And what's to say that you're not just lying to us? Would my gem be lying to you? No, I guess not. Well, Blaze, guess we're going. Bye! Typical. Throughout the story, Sonic and friends travel between
the past, the present, and the future as well,
in their efforts to stop Mephiles and Iblis and protect Elise from Dr. Eggman. Though at first Silver does stalk Sonic quite a bit and impedes his attempts to save Elise, which leads to an amazing boss fight? Question mark? I mean, if you find the Silver boss fight in Sonic 06 is one of the best boss fights of all time, you probably think that this is the best scene in Mega Man history.
Ah! No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
Splendid. Shadow reveals to Silver that Sonic is not the cause of his world's suffering, but rather Mephiles, who is trying to change the past for his own evil purposes. They learn that Mephiles seeks to bond with Iblis, who was sealed within Elise as a child, as they are two halves of Soliana's omnipotent god Solaris. And Mephiles is aware that one of the ways to get out Iblis is to make Elise feel strong emotions. So, what does he do to do this? Does he A. Kill Sonic? B. Tell her she will be in no future Sonic games and will be deemed non-canon after the failure of this game? Or C. Jesus Christ, so you yes, know Sonic dies and Princess Elise cries her guts up, Iblis is released, and Solaris is back. And then Solaris ends up attempting to consume time itself! I'm getting flashbacks to generations that I wish I wasn't having right now. Now this next scene, I didn't want to bring up into the review, as it would bring nightmares to the young, and bring back nightmares to the old. However, it needs to be done, so Elise kisses Sonic, who is surrounded by the Chaos Emeralds, to bring him back to life.
Yuck. Ew. Gross.
After this, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver transform into their super forms to defeat Solaris. Sonic and Elise are brought to the past and extinguish Solaris' flame, removing the god from existence and preventing the previous events from ever occurring. However, Sonic and Elise show faint recollections of knowing what happened in their previous encounters. And then Generations recreated Crisis City and the Silver boss fight, and all was well in the world again. And now it's on to gameplay. Now with Sonic 06 being another 3D platformer with action and adventure, and oddly enough also role-playing elements, like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, the single player navigates through open-ended hub world, where the player can converse with townspeople and perform missions to advance the story. The main gameplay takes place in linear levels that become accessible as the game progresses. The main playable characters are Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, who have their own campaigns titled Episodes, with a bonus last episode being available upon completing Sonic's story, Silver's story, and Shadow's story. Unfortunately, as of recording this, I have not gotten to that last episode. Now, Sonic's story focuses on the high-speed platforming seen in previous Sonic games with same sections, with some sections having him run at full speed while dodging obstacles or riding a snowboard. Now, Silver's levels are much slower, but they revolve around his use of telekinesis to defeat enemies and solve puzzles. In certain areas, control is switched to one of several friend characters with their own abilities, which I find kinda cool. And now with that said, it's time to talk for audio. I know, opera singer, something I should have gone into. But I'm a YouTuber now. I don't have a future. First thing to mention about voice actors should probably be that the main cast reprised their roles from the Sonic X anime, such as Jason Griffith, Mike Pollock, and Dan Green. Music, while it's my personal opinion, there's only a couple songs that really stick out to me, that being Crisis City's theme and His World, which I commonly have stuck in my head and am forced to sing at least once a day now. But it's not like you'll catch me doing that. I mean, not if the song would have suddenly stopped playing in the background or something. It ain't gonna happen, because if I sing it, Sega's gonna be on my ass, and I'm gonna get sued! In his world, where one is all in his world. So yeah, outside of that, in personal opinion, I can't really say much else about the audio. The other songs are okay, but they're really the only two songs that really catch my eye or ear. Potato, potato. They do now! Anyway, last thing to talk about is additional features. I didn't know how to sound this one out. Sorry. Such as Tag, a cooperative mode where two players have to work together to clear levels and collect Chaos Emeralds, and Battle, a PvP mode where two racers race each other to the end of each level. I have lost both of these! So in conclusion, what does the X-Boy think about Sonic 06? It's buggy, it's cheesy, it's all over the place with just about everything, and it's unpopular to the majority of the planet. But I love it! I love it! Now. Before a ton of people find this video and then decide to boycott me on Twitter, let me tell you why I like it. There have been a lot of rushed products, and I mean a lot of rushed products. Let me use one for example. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain was a game that was meant to be released later with a ton more content that was never added because of disputes between Konami and Hideo Kojima. That game is incredible and isn't even finished. Mass Effect 3. The ending is droll, yes, it was rushed out, but the game was incredible. Sonic 06 to me is the same thing. It's jagged, it's broken, it's clunky, it's a bit cheesy in my opinion, but all in all, the story, the potential it could have had if Yuji Naka had stayed on the ball for just a bit longer to keep the game in check, I love it. I love the commitment that Sonic Team had for this. Had it not been for a loss in direction and a loss of a leader, this game could have actually been what people were saying. Despite the fact that that phrase gets thrown around so often that it makes me want to pull my hairs out. Sonic 06, in my opinion, does not deserve the hate that it gets. But saying that, I now need to look out my window on a daily basis to make sure that the angry mob that will eventually track me down and kill me does not harm my family. So, I will see you guys next month with the next video, a continuation on the wonderful world of Dragon Ball Z games where we'll be covering the PSP. X-Boy, signing out. Oh hey, the angry mob's already here. Yeah? I can step out.